Okay, what's your full name? What's your full name
Edwin Humphries,
and your birth date?
2/28/26.
All right. Tell me a little bit about where you served during the war. What unit? What was your rank? That kind of thing.
Okay, I went in June of 1944. Volunteered, and sent me to Fort Bliss, Texas, at El Paso, and I had an aircraft training unit. And while I was there shooting all the big guns and things, I lost all the hearing in my right ear.
Wow.
So during the time of training there, I was an expert marksman with rifle, pistol, machine gun. In fact, I broke the camp record while I was there. And after that training, they split up the unit, and I was kind of drafted into a special unit, special training unit at Camp Maxey, Texas. And we were there for about 3 months training. While we were there, we were out on maneuvers in the winter time, and we were camping out, and it was raining and sleeting and snowing, and 13 of us got pneumonia. I made it to the last day and before I got pneumonia. Anyway, we were in the hospital, and the unit shipped out to Fort Meade, Maryland. We were slated to go into Germany. So when we got recuperated, they put us on a train and sent us to, we were going to Fort Meade, Maryland.
That's where my son served.
Is that right?
In the Marine Corps.
Yeah, how about that? We got about an hour or two out of Washington, and President Roosevelt died, and they was bringing his body in by train, so they stopped us there. And we were there overnight, and while we were there, the unit flew out from Fort Meade, and the rest of us there. Well, we stayed there about a month, and then they put us on a troop train over to San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
shipped to the South Pacific. And that was a 31-day ship ride across there. And we landed in Luzon in the Philippines there. And we were pushing on north, and we'd gotten about 350 miles north of Manila, and we kind of stalled out there. And while it was there, I got an eye infection in both eyes, and I woke up blind. So it was quite a scare there.
Wow.
Anyway, they put me in the hospital there, field hospital, and I was there, and well, the 5th day after I was there, I got hepatitis. And I was there until the 1st of November, and they flew me on one of these C-47s that we've been talking about down to Manila. They had converted the University of Manila into a hospital. And so while I was there, they brought a bunch of POWs from Japan that had been liberated up there. And you never saw a sorrier mess in your life. You cannot imagine human beings being that cruel to these guys that were prisoners. They would have parties and torture them, pull their fingernails out, cut their tongue off, their ears off, just manipulated every way you could possibly think of. But anyway, I flew back on the first plane load of those guys back to the States. And it was myself and 2 other guys that weren't POWs. They were in full body cast, and I was critical. So anyway, on the way from Manila to Guam, we went through a typhoon. And then we hit the middle of that typhoon, that plane dropped over 500 feet. And of course it was raining so hard, and they had wing lights on the plane, and I was where I could see, and the wings on the plane went up like that. And after we landed in Guam, I talked to the pilot, and I said, how in the world we survived it? He said, only God above saved us. He said, no plane made should have been able to do that. And anyway, and then we were there for a week, kind of recuperating. And we went from there to a little island, Kwajalein Island, and it's about this long. looked like he couldn't land on things. Anyway, from there to Hawaii, and we were there about 2 weeks in the hospital. That was helping us all kind of recuperate from the flights and all that. And then from there we flew to Hamilton Field, California. And of course we scattered over, and it was all kind of movie stars and everything, because that was the first one of the POWs from Japan back. They had quite a celebration there. Oh
wow.
I looked about as bad as them, because I'd lost about 60 pounds weight from the 1st of August to December. I just skin and bone. Anyway, and then they sent me down to New Orleans to LaGuardia Hospital, and I was there about a month. And then they transferred me to Tuscaloosa, to the hospital, and that's where I was discharged from on 15th of March in 1946. But I was in the hospital about 8 months for that. And I was still critical condition when I was discharged from the hepatitis. Oh, by the way, I regained sight in my left eye, and I'm totally blind in my right eye all this time. And so I don't have anything on the right side, no hearing or sight, either one on my right side there. But it was about from 46 to 51 until I had healed up enough where I could do a little bit of work.
Wow, that's a long time.
Like day work since that time. So it was quite a trip. It was fast, but it was quite a trip. By the way, I've got a little angel on each shoulder that keeps up me, and a good Lord above that takes care of us.
Sure do.
I had, and while we were over there, we were fighting, and I was laying like this with the helmet and my rifle. A bullet went through here and hit the stock of my rifle. That's another reason I know the little age.
So the bullet went through your hand?
No,
or
between my hands and my face.
Oh,
right
just
here,
that
like
little
about
space.
2 inches.
Wow.
And the buddy next to him like to fainted when he saw it. I think he was more scared than ever.
Where was that?
That was in the jungle. We were about 350 miles north of Manila.
Okay.
On Luzon Island.
Okay.
And you went back to Manila to the hospital? You went back to Manila to the hospital?
Yeah, they flew me back. Steve, that girl swallow water.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a story I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to do it.
You want to hand me my glasses?
Yes, sir.
I
Yeah, you
see
can have those
then.
back.
There you go.
I can see, but it's blur. Just
Okay.
blur like that.
I forgot about that.
And this is not real good. But I want to talk a while. By the way, my first job was with Emerson Electric in East St. Louis, Illinois.
Uh-huh.
That was in 1951. In 1952, I was up there, and I had polio. And I spent about 8 months in the hospital there with polio, and they told me I'd never walk. I'd be crippled, the rest of my life.
Wow.
And but 8 months I walked out on crutches. on my Lord above.
You had gone through a lot.
I know.
I was gonna-
And sacrificed in different ways, but gosh.
But,
And you're looking good now.
yeah, I'm doing good. I was telling your wife, I was a sibling of 9 children. We all have lived to be 83 years old or more. And I lost my oldest brother last year, was 101. So,
I'm sorry, I thought I had bottled water, but evidently somebody liked it better than I did.
Thank you.
And I had an uncle, my Uncle Howard Dunnigan, who was a survivor of the battalion.
Oh,
And-
yeah?
Yeah, and he was in prison at Cabanatuan. My aunt, my mother's sister, was an Army nurse, and her husband was killed in Okinawa.
Oh,
And she was in Manila at the hospital there, the university, that old university with that
Yeah.
hospital there.
uh-huh.
She was a nurse there, and that's where she met my Uncle Howard. in late 1945, so y'all were there at the same time.
Oh,
But on.
well, the reason I survived hepatitis, when I went in the hospital there, one of the nurses was from Philadelphia, Mississippi, down here.
Really?
And
Huh.
the third day, fourth day after I had hepatitis, I went into a coma, and they had a tent out back, and when they went into coma, they'd put you back there to die. And this nurse told the doctor, said, "This is my David, I'm gonna try to save him." So she gave me an IV all this time, and I came back, you know.
Wow.
it was fine. And the
Even on
colonel,
that side, life was cheap too, you know.
the doctor colonel that was in charge of her had hepatitis, and he died while I was still in a coma there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, my Uncle Howard had a buddy named Bert Bank. It was from
He was
Tuscaloosa.
what?
My Uncle Howard had a friend named Bert Bank.
I've heard that name.
Well, he had a radio station in Tuscaloosa, and he and Bear Bryant were big buddies apparently because he broadcast Alabama football he had a monopoly, or whatever you want to call it, on broadcasting Alabama football forever, until he died about 10 years ago. Yeah. But Uncle Howard and Bert Bank were big buddies, and I would take Uncle Howard over, when they would come up to see us, they lived in Mobile. They would come up to see us, and I'd take him to Tuscaloosa and see Mr. Bank, and they would visit.
Now, is it, you tell me your mother's sister was a nurse over there?
My Aunt Oline.
And that was in 45.
That was in 45
November
and 46. She came back in 46. My Uncle Howard was repatriated in May of 45, from Cabanatuan, and her husband was killed in March of, no, in Okinawa in 45 on the Second Ridge, okay? And they met while he was in the hospital, and they got married in New Orleans in 1947.
Oh,
So in 1997, I went to New Orleans, and they had just renovated the Roosevelt Hotel, and we rented the ballroom and got us a 16-piece band from Algiers, all black, and had their 50th wedding anniversary party there.
Oh,
Sure
that's
did.
so nice.
my brother's just older than me. He went in 2 years before I did. And he went through an aircraft training at Camp Holland, California. And bless his heart, he had it tough. They sent him to Hawaii. He stayed in Hawaii during the whole time until the war was over, and he went to Okinawa up there for about 6 months, and then they sent him home after the war.
That'd be the way to do it.
Yeah, he had it tough.
I didn't realize that you were in the hospital in Manila. Sure didn't.
Yeah.
But when you said that they converted that university to a hospital, it dawned on me. Aunt Lean told me that same thing.
Yeah.
Sure was. That was a big military hospital, and it was full of folks too. And they had all manner of repatriated prisoners in there. They had all manner, many repatriated prisoners and Japanese prisoners in there.
Oh, yeah. They was bringing plane loads down there.
They had 400 and something from Cabanatuan.
So they treated the POWs in the hospital?
They were not Japanese POWs, these were American people.
Oh, that's what I was
guys,
wondering.
Repatriated Americans.
Okay.
They didn't treat the Japanese too much.
That's what I was wondering,
No.
okay.
Now, Joe was talking about smelling bodies. You know, those bodies, we didn't try to pick them up and move the Japanese that were killed there. They were just laying there. But that is the awfulest stench you can possibly imagine. And I lost my sense of smell and taste. And I talked to the doctor about it, and he said, well, your brain just really eliminated your smell so you
Really?
could stand it. You know, otherwise you
Wow.
couldn't have stood it. But while I was there, I couldn't smell anything or taste anything.
How is it today?
Ma'am?
Are you back to normal today?
No, this is caused from, I had polio, it affected my throat, so.
But you can't taste today or smell?
No, I can't taste it.
It never came back? Wow.
And I can't smell it.
Hmm.
It has to be very, very strong scent for me to smell anything, you know.
Hey, what are the pins and patches on your cap?
This is the Red Arrow,
Yeah.
the 32nd Infantry, Red Arrow Division. And this is an honor flight I made to Washington D.C.
Okay.
Been 6 years ago. This one is the American Legion National Commander, and this one is American. This is a lifetime disabled veteran and disabled. I'm a lifetime member of VFW, the
Okay.
Disabled Veterans and American Legion. All of them.
Okay. Well,